Hello students and welcome to another episode of English Extra Class 9th. Today I will explain to you the first part of the chapter The Sounds of Music. This chapter deals about a girl called Evelyn who listens to sounds without hearing it. Don't you find it interesting? Now it is a motivational story. Evelyn was a brilliant multi-percussionist, and a percussionist is a person who knows how to play different instruments like xylophone, drums. So let's start with the first part. But before we start, make sure the book is right in front of you because the chapter will be explained to you line to line. Before you read, God has given her hearing, but He has given her back something extraordinary. What we hear, she feels far more deeply than any of us. That is why she expresses music so beautifully. Now let's read the following account of a person who fought against a physical disability and made her life a success story. So these two paragraphs truly depicts that it is a motivational story, and Evelyn will tell us about her life history and how she learned to listen to sound without hearing it. First paragraph. Rush hours crowds jostle for position on the underground train platform. A slight girl, looking younger than her 17 years, was nervous yet excited as she felt the vibrations of the approaching train. It was her first day at the prestigious Royal Academy of Music in London, and daunting enough for any teenager fresh from a Scottish farm. So it means that it is the rush hour. It was the time where people rush up and down the railway platform. Obviously, there was no exception in this case, and Evelyn was standing over there in the railway platform. She was being pushed by a crowd of people. There was a huge crowd. Now she was a slight girl. Slight means a very small and thin girl. And over here, write the meaning of the word jostle also. Jostle means to push roughly. She was a girl of 17 years of age. And she was looking very nervous as well as excited because she could feel the vibrations of the train. The vibration was telling her that the train was about to reach. She was going to the prestigious Royal Academy of Music in London to give an audition. So obviously, she was a Scottish girl and she has come from a very simple background. She was going from Scotland to London. So it was but obvious that she was quite frightened. She has to face a very big challenge. Moving from rural area to a fast life was a small challenge for her. And the bigger challenge of her life was a loss of hearing. She was not able to hear. But this aspiring musician faced a bigger challenge than most. She was profoundly deaf. So I told you that she could not hear, and she was profoundly deaf, means she was absolutely deaf. She could not hear at all. So there was a mixed reaction in her. She was excited, at the same time she was afraid to give an audition for the first time in the prestigious Royal Academy of Music in London. Now let's go to the second paragraph. Evelyn Glennie's loss of hearing had been gradual. Her mother remembers noticing something was wrong when the 8-year-old Evelyn was waiting to play the piano. They called her name and she did not move. I suddenly realized she hadn't heard, says Isobel Glennie. Underline Isobel Glennie. For quite a while, Evelyn managed to conceal her growing deafness from friends and teachers. But by the time she was 11, her marks had deteriorated and her headmistress urged her parents to take her to a specialist. It was then discovered that her hearing was severely impaired as a result of gradual nerve damage. They were advised that she should be fitted with hearing aids and sent to a school for the deaf. Everything suddenly looked black, says Evelyn. Underline the last line, everything suddenly looked black. Okay, so it was the main reason and the main cause, and how did she realize that she was deaf? Now let me tell you, this hearing problem of Evelyn was gradual. It happened slowly in phases. And day by day, it was worsening day by day. At that time, she was 8 years old. And Evelyn, she was waiting to play the piano. The mother called her, but she did not move. And that time it was realized that she could not hear well. This is what Isabel Glennie says, who was the mother of Evelyn Glennie. For a few days, Evelyn didn't hid her problem from her friends, from her teachers. But how long? Gradually her marks went down, deteriorated, and obviously the headmistress complained to the parents, advised her to take her to a specialist. When the doctor examined her, it was found that her hearing was severely impaired, severely damaged, weakened due to her gradual nerve damage. And this resulted in a gradual nerve damage. So the doctor said that she can be fitted with a hearing aid. And obviously the school, at present school, was not the right school for her. She should be sent to the school for the deaf. Hearing this, Evelyn's world became colorless, because this was an unexpected news for Evelyn. She did not expect such a news to come in her life. So her morale went down. Next paragraph. But Evelyn was not going to give up. She was determined to lead a normal life and pursue her interest in music. One day, she noticed a girl playing a xylophone and decided that she wanted to play it too. Most of the teachers discouraged her, but percussionist Ron Forbes spotted her potential. So over here, Evelyn was not going to give up. She was determined to lead a normal life and follow her interest in music. At that very moment, a very important person came in her life, and that was the percussionist, Mr. Ron Forbes, who found that Evelyn was passionate about music, and he would teach her how to feel music. He began by turning two large drums to different notes. Don't listen through your ears, he would say. Try to sense it some other way, says Evelyn. Suddenly I realized I could feel the higher drum from the waist and the lower from the waist down. Forbes repeated the exercise, and soon Evelyn discovered that she could sense certain notes in different parts of her body. I had learned to open my mind and body to sounds and vibrations. The rest was sheer determination and hard work. Potential means quality. And the meaning of xylophone I already told you. A musical instrument with a row of wooden bars of different lengths. So, Ron Forbes He played a new sort of a system. He turned the drums to different notes and sound. And Evelyn was able to hear the higher note above the waist and the lower note below the waist. That means she could sense different notes in different parts of her body. Ron taught her to feel the different sounds and vibrations. So in this way, her career went upwards due to her sheer determination and hard work. Next paragraph. She never looked back from that point onwards. She toured the United Kingdom with a youth orchestra, and by the time she was 16, she had decided to make music live. She auditioned for the Royal Academy of Music and scored one of the highest marks in the history of the Academy. She gradually moved from orchestral work to solo performances. At the end of her 3-year course, she had captured most of the top awards. So, she didn't have to look back. Her career was proceeding day by day. She took a tour around the United Kingdom with a youth orchestra, and when she was 16 years of age, she was able to give many performances. She auditioned for the Royal Academy of Music, and of course, she scored one of the highest marks in the history of that academy. Earlier, she was doing a youth orchestra, a group, but now she switched over to solo performances. And this course in the Royal Academy of Music was for 3 years. And by the end of the 3 years course, she had bagged most of the top awards. Next paragraph. And for all this, Evelyn won't accept any hint of heroic achievement. If you work hard and know where you are going, you will get there. And she got right to the top, the world's most sought after multi-percussionist with a mastery of some 1,000 instruments and hectic international schedule. In spite of getting so many awards, Evelyn was very down to earth. He didn't want to have any appreciation, or he didn't think that this was a heroic achievement for her. According to her, the secret of success was number 1, hard work, and number 2, aim. She became the most demanding percussionist. She had a very busy schedule, and she says, if you work hard and know where you are going, you will get there. That means there should be 2 secrets of success. One is the hard work, and you should focus on your aim. She became the world's most demanding percussionist. And of course, as a result, she had a very, very demanding schedule. Next paragraph. It is intriguing to watch Evelyn function so effortlessly without hearing. In our 2-hour discussion, she never missed a word. Men with bushy beards give me trouble, she laughed. It is not just watching the lips, it's the whole face, especially the eyes. She speaks flawlessly with a Scottish lilt. My speech is clear because I could hear till I was 11, she says. But that doesn't explain how she managed to learn French and master basic Japanese. So, the word intriguing means fascinating and curious. In an interview with the writer, she said that men with bushy beards give me trouble. That is, men whose lips are covered with bushy beards. Because she hears through the parts of the body of other people. If the lips are covered, she will not be able to understand what exactly they are speaking. She will not be able to understand their lip sync, because the eyes, lips and the whole face tells what the person is saying. So obviously she has to see their expression. So that's why she said that men with bushy beards gave me trouble. She further gave the explanation that she could speak very good Scottish because her speech was clear and she could hear till she was till the age of 11. But in spite of that, later on she managed to learn French as well as basic Japanese. So from here you can understand she was a highly talented girl. Next paragraph. As for music, she explains, it pours in through every part of my body, the skin, my cheekbones, and even in my hair. When she plays, the xylophone sends the sound passing up the stick into her fingertips. By leaning against the drums, can feel the resonances flowing into her body. On a wooden platform, she removes shoes so that the vibrations pass through her bare feet and up her legs. According to her, she could feel the music. Every part of Evelyn's body responded to music. The word resonance means the echoes of sounds. She used to take off her shoes on the wooden platform, and wooden platform means the wooden floor, and she used to feel through the stick which is in her hand and up her body. She left no stones unturned to learn music, not by mind but by her heart, her soul. Her head, heart and soul was totally a part of music. Next paragraph. Not surprisingly, Evelyn delights her audience. Delights means make the audience very happy. In 1991, she was presented the Royal Philharmonic Society's prestigious Soloist of the Year award, says percussionist James Blade. God may have taken a hearing, but he has given her something extraordinary. What we hear she feels far more deeply than any of. That is why she expresses music so beautifully. So another percussionist came into her life and he was called James Blades. First of all, she used to delight her audience, make her audience very happy. In 1991, she was given the Royal Philharmonic Society's prestigious Soloist of the Year award. So James Blades says that God must have taken her one of her senses, but in exchange God has given her one of the most extraordinary power of hearing. According to him, Evelyn feels when what we see, what we hear, and that too her sense of feeling was much stronger than our sense of hearing. That is why the music that she plays, she expresses that music very beautifully. Next paragraph. Evelyn confesses that she is something of a workaholic. Workaholic means a person who goes on working from morning till night, who never stops working. I have just got to work, often harder than classical musicians, but the rewards are enormous. Apart from the regarding concerts, Evelyn also gives free concerts in prisons and hospitals. She also gives high priority to classes for young musicians. Anne Richland of the Beethoven Fund for Deaf Children says she is a shining inspiration for deaf children. They see that there is no way that she cannot go. So first of all, Evelyn was workaholic. She has done charity, a lot of charitable work in her life. She is an ideal, a role model for all. She has given free concerts in prisons and hospitals, and of course she thought of she gave classes to the young musicians. When she went to perform in the Anne Richland of the Beethoven Fund for Deaf Children Society, they said that she is a shining inspiration of her deaf children. The deaf children of that institution thought that if Evelyn can do it, they can also do it. If she can go to such extent, they can also conquer the world like Evelyn. Para 10 and the last paragraph. Evelyn Glennie has already accomplished more than most people twice her age. She has brought percussion to the front of the orchestra and demonstrated that to be moving. She has given inspiration to those who was her handicapped people who look to her and say, if she can do it, I can. Underline this line. This is a very motivational word. If she can do it, I can. And not the least, she was given enormous pleasure to millions. So, this is what we learn from Evelyn, that hard work pays in the long run. Never stop till you reach your goal. Hard work and work hard and focus on your aim. She is a role model and inspiration for all. And from her life we learn, if she can do it, we can all do it. So follow her footsteps and do everything that you can. With this we come to the end of the chapter. I hope you have understood it. Tomorrow I will deal with another chapter, the part 2 of this Sound of Music chapter. So the exercises must be done along with the chapter in the English literature notebook. The word meanings I have already told you side by side, and moreover you must have seen the word meanings while in the course of this explanation. Thank you so much and have a good day.